All right, Sony Xperia Z5 Compact versus LG Nexus 5. This is going to be an honest review here, fanboy-free review of the two of these devices side by side in a versus kind of a setting to see which one you should choose if you're in the market for a mid-range, medium to small size Android phone here in 2016. Both of these guys are in the kind of mid-range budget. We've got about $450 unlocked US for this guy, the Sony, and about $350 give or take for the LG Nexus 5X. And they're both similar yet different. The Sony is kind of going for more of a high-end flagship in a compact size. The Nexus is more of a mid-range phone in a not-so-compact size, but they're still relatively small Android phones when you look at the larger market of devices. We've got a 760p HD screen here on the 5C with a 4.6 inch display, and we have a higher resolution display on the 5X. I don't know the pixel count, but it's a 5.2 inch display, which is the important part. You can't see the pixels, so it doesn't matter how many there are, in my opinion. You know, everybody gets caught up in the hype of, oh, my display is 4K and blah, blah. No one cares because you can't tell the difference anyway. Both really great screens. But I'm going to end there and say that the Nexus 5X is actually a far superior screen when you talk about brightness and color accuracy. Both of these phones are turned up to their highest level of brightness, and yet the Sony is extremely different in terms of its brightness. It's way, way lower and darker. It's also way less color accurate. If we turn on Chrome here and just kind of see the whites, you can see that the Sony looks purple compared to the 5X. And if you turn them, you can see that the 5X actually has a little bit better of a viewing angle compared to the Sony Xperia Z5C. So the brightness on the screen on this really bothers me. I really like the brightness and the colors on the Nexus a lot better. Speed of software wise, both are really excellent. The Sony feels really snappy in your hand. It's got a Snapdragon 810 processor. The Nexus has a Snapdragon something, I don't even know, it doesn't matter. But they both feel really smooth. A lot of people say the Nexus lags. I will completely disagree with that. I haven't noticed an ounce of lag in my Nexus. And I haven't noticed an ounce of lag in the Sony either. The Sony feels really smooth and fast, as does my 5X. I do, however, notice heat in this thing. When I was setting up the phone and getting onto the Play Store and using the phone heavily, the back, you could fry an egg on it. I actually held it up to my face and used it as a face warmer. You could probably heat up your house with this thing. It gets so hot. I haven't noticed that so much on the 5X. Speed of the software, like I said, both feel really good and smooth. You know, if we close Chrome here again and kind of launch it again, you can see sort of, you know, the speed, the side-by-side speed of both of these. Both about the same. You know, they're really similar in terms of their speed and fluidity. Cameras, however, we'll get into that. 5X, much better results indoor and low light. Camera low light quality on this is terrible. If we load a picture here that I took indoors yesterday, you'll see that there's really bad JPEG artifacts indoors in low light. I mean, this is just unacceptable. The quality of that's just awful. 5X camera is superb. I've never had an Android camera as good as I've had on this Nexus 5X. Outdoors, however, on this Xperia Z5, you can see really good quality in available light outdoors, nice and sharp, nice and contrasty. You know, really good quality results there. Good detail in the outdoor pictures. And so I think outdoor-wise, pretty good. I would say for an overall camera, the 5X does a little bit better in terms of its overall user experience with the camera. Battery life, totally different story. Z5 blows this out of the water. I get about 2 days of battery life on this bad boy, plus all the low power settings in the stamina mode really make it for great battery life. Get about a day or so on the 5X. Not super great, but not super bad either. Build quality wise goes to the Sony. Awesome build on this guy. We've got a tempered glass back with a matte kind of a feel to it. Feels kind of soft in your hand. Feels sturdy, feels solid. Doesn't feel like it's gonna fall out of your hand either. Nexus 5X feels a little more cheap, you know, kind of hollow sounding. Doesn't feel terrible, but I don't really like this compared to the Sony. I like the Nexus 5X, don't get me wrong, but compared to the Sony definitely wins on the build quality stance. Both have excellent thumbprint readers, or fingerprint readers, I guess you could say, on their power buttons. Well, this isn't a power button, it's just a fingerprint reader. So if I hold both fingers up, wait, I did that wrong, let me go back. I can press on this one at the same time, and boom, you'll see that they light up. The Sony's giving me a little bit of a trouble there we go. But normally that doesn't take that long on the Sony. Normally it's nice and quick, and we don't have that delay. It'll just light up and boom, it'll unlock for me. So both have really good features in terms of their fingerprint scanner like that. Software-wise, the edge goes to the Nexus. Google releases their updates, and boom, the Nexus get them right away. Whereas Sony lags behind a little bit. Sony has been good in the past about updating their software, but we haven't seen that yet for this Xperia Z5C. It's still running Android 5.11 Lollipop, whereas we've got Android 6 Marshmallow here on the Nexus. Other things to talk about: price. I think I touched on it a little bit earlier. You know, this phone is at least $100 or so more than the Nexus. And I don't really know why you'd want to spend that. Maybe the waterproofing. This phone does offer some waterproofing. It doesn't necessarily mean you can take it underwater. I would definitely not do that. I had that experience, a bad experience. Took my Z3 in the water. It got damaged. I had to send it back to Sony, and it took me 2 months to get my phone back. Whereas, you know, with Google or with Apple, that wouldn't be the case. They'd have a nice quick turnaround. But you can use this phone kind of in the shower, you know, like not the shower, but in a shower, as in a rain shower. You can, you know, take it in the bathroom, not worry about it going in the toilet or in the sink. If it does, you can pull it out and it should be okay. At least Sony says that's what the case is. Nexus, not waterproof at all. Other things to talk about, you know, this is a dual LED flash with laser autofocus. I don't really know how much that matters. This does have the new standard of USB-C, which is awesome. This has regular micro USB, which is sort of ho-hum. You know, overall, I think they're really comparable in terms of their kind of user experience and in terms of just their build qualities and their, you know, just the phone, the fit and finish and feel of the phones are really, really similar. Obviously, the Nexus is substantially bigger than the Z5C. So if you're looking for a compact, really well built, really speedy, really high-end feeling phone in a small package, this is a really great device. If you're looking for a great Android phone in a small-ish device and you can deal with just that little bit of extra space, this is a superb phone. I would not hesitate to choose the Nexus over the Sony in any day of the week at any point in time. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this little side-by-side review of these two phones here. Don't forget to check out everything else I have on YouTube. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks.